Welcome everyone to the Quantum Frequency for Divination. I'm Amanda, the Divine Mystic. Welcome to my channel. Okay, I'm here today to do a general reading for you with my own personal deck. So let's see what we have going on for you. Adapt. All right, so things are changing at a particular pace, I guess, and it's a little different for everyone because this is a general reading. For some of you, this is really, really fast. You haven't had time to prepare yourself for it. For others of you, this has been changing at somewhat of like a snail's pace, and you've had a lot of time to look at the details, do your research, but you still may not feel totally ready for whatever this is that's coming up for you. Like, you may feel as though you are kind of dealt the worser end of things a little bit. And this is why you find yourself in adaptive energy, trying to modify either your behaviors, your philosophy, your strategy, something like that, right? You are trying to figure out how to adapt in this new situation. And it's not easy, right? People aren't giving you necessarily clues, and people aren't really giving you kind of the whole story either, which is why it's like you need to find out for yourself. You need to research this. And if you haven't, then it could be well that you get sort of caught off guard in a situation, right? Discovering something that you hadn't really thought of previously, or again, caught off guard. So being surprised by this, and so that can come from a method of ill preparation, aspiration. So it's important to write down your findings in this so that you can go back later and review those notes that you've taken, provided you have the time to do so. And I do think for a larger number of you that you have had time to do this. Whether or not you've procrastinated on it, I don't know. But nonetheless, also what these two cards are telling me is that to get what you want, you may have to adapt to something, or you may have to change your ways, changing something, right? Because if what you're doing currently isn't working and it isn't getting what it is that you think that you want, then what can you do to get what you want, right? And that's where the adaptation comes into that, right? If things aren't going to be handed to you, and things aren't going to be made obvious other than through your own observations. And then we have romance. So this could be a new romance coming in for you here. This could be talking about a romantic situation, a relationship perhaps that you want or are in, right? Because there's aspiration with romance too. So very well, it could be someone who like you want, maybe you have a crush on. You could be doing research, trying to figure out who they are, what are they about, what do they like, these sorts of things. With the aspiration and the little letter here with the heart, this could be like a love message coming through that you're reading, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect that to come through, and so you're kind of looking at it, trying to figure out how do you react to this, because it may not have been something that you had considered prior, and that's what's throwing you off just a little bit about the situation. Like this person could be a little different than what you're normally used to, or that you normally go for, type thing. So something that you definitely hadn't expected prior to this point, right? And okay, now what? Now this could also be indicating in the romantic situation that you're currently involved in, if that's what you're resonating with, that this person has to meet certain, I want to say qualifications, but it's not really a matter of being qualified, so much as it's like they have to meet your standards per se, right? You know what you want in this aspiration. There could be a very distinctive list, like, okay, this person has to have this person has to have that, this sort of thing. And so you may be expecting a partner to adapt to those things. Like, okay, you need to meet me where I'm at if we're going to make this happen. And also like finding the need to sort of adapt to them as well, because this person has their quirks. I guess let's just say that they definitely have some quirks about them. Yeah, they have to prove themselves, really, is what it is, right? And the proof is in the pudding. So actions and words are two different things. And that could be indicating that the person that you're dealing with is like, okay, what they say and what they do don't always line up, I think, is part of the challenge that you are facing in this, right? Yeah, we have jovial. They may not be taking things as seriously as you like them. Like, you could be expecting kind of this full-on commitment, and this person isn't really at that level at this moment, and that's where the adaptation comes in, right? Like, this isn't something that they can really try for. Like, you can tell them what you want to change or how you want them to adapt, but at the end of the day, this person does do what it is that they want to do regardless. They don't really like listening to others, I think, in that case, and they have their own unique individual way of expressing themselves that you aren't quite used to. But nonetheless, you find this person absolutely irresistible. So there's a strong attraction to this person. And I think this person does have that same attraction to you as well. And so there could be kind of early stages of a romance developing. This could be also indicating of something that started as a friendship and things are kind of changing along the way in a way that you totally did not expect this to happen. But this person is good at communicating with you. That's for sure. They do stay in touch. It's just sometimes like they're cheerful and friendly is great, but sometimes there's a need to be serious, right? And that's just what they aren't good at, right? They're very, very deep emotionally. They just may be the type of person that expresses their emotions by writing them down, keeping a journal, keeping a diary, something like that, right, with the aspiration. But again, this is what's inside and outside don't necessarily match. They may not have expressed their feelings to you to the extent of which they feel for you, because it's very, very strong. Very strong with the romance and the irresistible. Like, they want you yesterday. That sort of thing. And they're trying to come up with a plan on how to do that, or what it is that they want to say. So I think that sometimes the words that come out of their mouth, and not always to you either, by the way, but the words that come out of their mouth aren't really romantic or serious, something to this effect, right? Like they're afraid of saying the wrong thing, and kind of upsetting you is kind of what I'm hearing, right? Because with the layers in the proof card, I do think that there's already been a few instances between the two of you, where you're discovering the layers to this person, they're discovering the layers to you, and ultimately it's strengthening this connection, right? Like, if you're talking about like unconditional love here, it's not just about this romance, this spark, this irresistibility, like I want this person, this is what it is. It's about kind of showing up on a daily, regular basis for you, being the person that you need them to be, right? Not the person that they just want to be, right? And that could be part of the challenge. It's like they want this, you want that, and like there could be like totally differing opinions here that are having a hard time coming together. You are very used to getting what you want with the irresistible card, right? Like, you want your cake and eat it too. And she's eating chocolate, but it's harder to see. Yeah, you want your cake and eat it too, because you're the one making the friggin' cake, right? So why can't you eat the cake, this sort of thing. You've worked very, very hard to build yourself up to this point. Very hard. And it's not something that you really want to give up. You're not totally willing to compromise, even though like in your own mind, you kind of do, okay, well, I could give them this and I could give them that. And I'm saying them, like it's not just him, but it's in your mind, right? You haven't totally communicated it to that person. I don't think that person totally understands what you want to compromise on, right? Or what they have to do, or what they have to change, or who they have to be, type thing, right? Some of them feel as though you put on a show, right? That you are some form of entertainment. And that's how they kind of treat this a little bit. So if that's the case, I think it's really important to communicate that and how that person makes you feel. You could feel as though you're being pointed out, or they're pointing out something, like a flaw per se, in you, or something like that, right? Yeah, embark, go on board a ship, aircraft, or other vehicle. So before taking this journey or agreeing to do this, because like, I have a feeling that this person didn't think that far ahead of whatever this is, right? So if it's a connection, even a wedding, in some cases, I think it's like they didn't expect this to be that complicated. They're like, okay, well, we just do this, and then these people come and show up, and then that's it, that's all. And you're like, oh, no, here's the details that I have written out every day for my entire life that I expect you to adhere to. And this person's going, well, you never told me any of this, right? And so that's part of the issue as well too. Like this connection was kind of formed on a physical attraction basis. The proof is in the pudding. And so you haven't really delved into it. You may not know everything that there is to know about this person. And that could be part of your challenges. You're getting to know this person. You are adapting to this person and how they are, right? Because it's not totally predictable. You're not predictable to them in any way, shape, or form. It's like one day you're this, the next day you're that. And I'm just here for it, is how the person feels. Like they really aren't the type of person to think ahead or to think, well, I shouldn't say that. They do think very deeply. They're a very deep person internally, but that's not how they live their lives. It's not what they project outward to it. Yeah, disbelief. Again, you may not believe how, like, this person, how they're behaving could be like, all right, I don't believe you in any way. Like because what they've said and what they do may be two different things. You're kind of in that state of disbelief. Like, I don't know what to believe anymore. And this could also be like a believe in true love. That sort of thing could have been a little bit sort of jaded throughout the years through past experiences. And that makes it very difficult for you to engage in these romantic feelings that are coming about. Even though it's really what you want, right? Like you have this deep fantasy in your mind that isn't totally attached to this person, right? Like this person's just here for the journey, for this leg of the journey, right? And so at the end of that, you are looking at this like, okay, with all the changes that have occurred recently, is this still what you want, right? And kind of going back to that aspirations, reviewing the notes and kind of seeing, and this is also kind of a reminder of some things are best left in the past, right? So there's no need to continually drag up something if it's not moving towards that future, right? This is kind of saying, oh, well, this happened at this, and these sorts of things, and it's caused this to happen, and it's had such a negative effect on things. No. I mean, that's not going to get you what it is that you want, right? Trying to hold them back, right? Or hold them accountable in the way that you're trying to hold them accountable. This could also be, there's things written down, but with the disbelief card, how much of them are true, right? And pointing things out, like in kind of like, is it childish? Where is the proof for this? The proof is in the pudding, right? But the person that you're dealing with could also think that they're king shit type thing. Like they're irresistible, almost like in a manipulative way. Like they can just convince anybody of these words or these things. And yeah, that's not the case, right? And they're going to be shown that, I think, a little bit. Yeah, then we have the wealth card here. There could be money attached to this. This could be a lot of discussion about how much is this going to cost. Because yeah, there's a big expense coming up, and it's an expense that the two of you guys aren't on the same page about. Okay, so you have in your mind a budget or a cost or an income sort of thing, and this person has in mind a budget or a cost or an income, and they aren't aligned, right? And again, you're the type of person, you're making your own cake here. Like, so you can have whatever it is that you want, and you really aren't going to tolerate anyone telling you that you can't, right? Like, you're not going to listen to them any more than they're going to listen to you. And oh boy, things are heated between the two of you because of it, right? And so much of this comes down to money. Right? It's, well, and do you have it? Right? Is kind of the aspect of it, because it's showing up in what you might consider like the future, like past, present, future, if you're looking at things this way. So it's like you will have it, but you don't currently have it, but it's not going to stop you, right? If you want what you want, you're not going to care what it's going to cost. You're going to do what you can to get it, right? And that's the thing. Now, with that also may mean compromising on some things, adapting your budget or adapting your expenses to ensure that you do have the money when you need it. That sort of thing as well. This could be also talking about a romantic partner wanting money from you or wanting a bigger contribution than you want to make, because you might have a lifestyle, they might have a lifestyle and whatever, and trying to upkeep that. But again, it's like, I'm in disbelief at the cost of things. Like, I can't believe that there's this much money required on this. So can you prove to me why? Because that's the situation that some of you are in. The money isn't really the issue. Why is it costing this much money? Right? And yeah, you want it all. Yeah, particularly great or intense. So very, very detail-oriented person, right? And this is why you want what you want, because you pay close attention to those details, and you note it out. This is, again, another, like, writing an official letter. You could be receiving something like this, or you could be sending something like this. But in that, it's like there needs to be some proof of the situation, right, before kind of taking things seriously, right? Or no one took it seriously until it was on paper, right? Now, all of a sudden, there's a lot of scrambling, trying to come up with all of these things. Now, like, there's just something in particular about all of this that you need to sort of pay attention to. And ultimately, it's something that you may be overlooking, right? Because it's not something that is totally believable to you. It could also be something that wasn't important to you, and now you find yourself, it's important to someone else, so now it has to be important to you, right? Yeah. We have destiny, the events that will necessarily happen to a particular person or thing in the future. So this is a destined thing, a destined person, even, or a partner. You were meant to go through this with this person. And I can say the outcome for everyone is not exactly what you're expecting, right? Because there's a lot of lessons to be learned here. And like, part of growing up, I guess, is that jovial, Jehovah, I don't know. But I have vilify, so speaking ill, defamation, slander. So, okay, what was said? Is there proof of it? And is there a note? Is there something in writing? Is there something somewhere to show this? Because otherwise, how do you believe it, right? Like, do you believe automatically just because it's something that you've heard? And for some people, that means that they've kind of exposed themselves just a little bit. And like now you're seeing the truth of things, right? Yeah, now you're definitely seeing the truth of things. And there's just so much, like, again, what is this going to cost, right? What is this going to cost? And then the faculty or power of using one's own free will. Again, you want what you want. You make your own cake. You're going to eat it if you want a damn piece, right? And might not even like sharing too much either is part of it. And that could be part of the issue, right? Is that you've thought so much about what it is that you want, you really haven't given much account to what the other person wants. And you can't just will it so, right? Just because you want it and they don't, well, somewhere somebody has to meet in the middle, or you stay on both sides, or you stay on either side, right? Yeah, so it's, some of you could be postponing something, or there's a delay that's going to occur. And most of this delay is caused by this issue, this back and forth, the he said, she said, and the cost of things. We don't have it right now. We will have it in the future. We just have to hold off just a little while longer. But that could be triggering some rumors for other people, like, to kind of say, oh, well, you know, this isn't working out because of this, that, and the other thing. And they're just trying to get their hands mixed into the equation, like inserting themselves where they don't belong, trying to influence the situation. So somebody could be kind of in your ear. But I think with you, it's not really a big deal. Like, their influence on you isn't really going to change you whatsoever, because you already have your vision set in. What does get to you is that the other person is being influenced by other people. And that's why, like, it's maybe pissing you off a little bit. Like, you know, they're listening to those things. Yeah, we have twist. So it's like they're listening to things, something you didn't expect. Like, how could this person say this? What is it that they actually mean by this? Like, you know, or you're finding out something about this person in this situation you did not know before. And when you find it out, you are completely shocked. And that makes you step back and think, why did I do things this certain way? Right? And materialism could be a theme in that as well too. But ultimately, yeah, apology is coming. An apology is expected, or apology is needed. Apologizing for something, expecting this person, I think, to apologize to you for what other people have done. And they're kind of going to have to, right? Because they sat back, they heard it, they listened, and they really didn't do anything other than what they thought that they could do. If that makes sense, right? Like, yeah, this person's very much influenced by other people. They're listening to things and that they shouldn't be, and they're not consulting you in a lot of ways. Yeah, see the sidekick energy. So someone's by their side, kind of whispering in their ear, like particular things, and they're not true, right? With the disbelief, there's no proof, there's no substantiating it, and as a result, it's going to bring in some wealth, because they're, like, for you anyways, because I think that they're kind of going in the wrong direction about it. And you've heard some of the rumors. Like, it's not like this is really a surprise to you, what they're saying. You half expect it, you know, and yeah, a burden, right? Like, you're kind of done carrying dead loads. And like, this problem has become so consuming that you've already been over it, right? Like, you just want to cancel the whole thing and move on and do something else, maybe go on a trip something like this, and it's mostly because of the interference of others, right? That's what's burdening you at this point, right? It's not necessarily even this person. It's the people around this person who has no business being in your business. And then we have a victory. So there is a victory coming. It's heading your way. You are going to get what you want because you make it happen, right? This is 100% on you. Make changes where you need to make changes. Adapt when there is an adaptation needed. Know how to be somewhat of a chameleon in the situation. Be what it's going to take you to succeed, and you will experience all of the success that comes with this. Guys, that concludes your reading. I hope the video has resonated with you. If so, like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.